This may be the wildest bottle I've ever seen. Every time I look at it, I see something different on it. There's a skull, a scalpel, an Illuminati eye. I swear, I just keep seeing different trippy things. So of course, since it's October, I had to pick up this bottle to give it a try. And this is by the winemaker Jolie-Laide, which literally translates to pretty ugly in French, which already before I even tried the wine just seems to fit it so well. And this is their Glou de Table. And this wine here is really interesting. So there's a bunch of different grapes in here, some of which you may not have heard of before. To make sure I remember all of these. So this is the 2023, and so this is 38% Valdiguié, which we'll get to in a minute, 33% Mourvèdre, 17% Grenache, 12% other, Cab Franc, Syrah, Carignan, Petit Verdot. This is a wild mix, but let's talk about that first one, Valdiguié, for a minute. I have actually never had an 100% Valdiguié before, but it's so fun being in a blend, and that's one of my favorite things about trying different red blends is being able to try some different grapes that you maybe wouldn't get to otherwise. But I'm so excited to try this. So let's open it up while we talk about Valdiguié. And first off, I do just want to give a little plug for this wine opener here. Normally I like my little wine key, but this guy is a bat and it's just so perfect for October. So I had to pull it out. Okay, I don't know in this lighting here if you can see how light this wine is, but it's very light. I can definitely see my fingers when I look through the glass. So it's not super pigmented, which actually doesn't surprise me, considering some of the winemaking techniques. This is supposed to be a light and chillable wine. Okay, so Valdiguié. Valdiguié is a French grape from the Languedoc region of France. And it kind of fell out of favor there for a little bit. But when it first came over to the United States in the 19th century, it was confused with the grape Gamay, which is another light fruity red wine from France. So it makes sense. So it actually got the name Napa Gamay or even Napa Beaujolais because Valdiguié, much like the Gamay grape, which makes Beaujolais in the Beaujolais region of France, it often undergoes what's called carbonic maceration. And carbonic maceration is where you've got the grapes and rather than crushing them and then letting them ferment, the fermentation actually starts inside the berries itself. And when that happens, carbonic maceration oftentimes produces wine that have a lot more zippy, bright fruit notes to them. So carbonic maceration is actually a lot more popular now than maybe it was in the past. Right now, I feel like really high acid, light-bodied red wines are kind of what's like en vogue. They're in. So I'm seeing carbonic maceration pop up a lot more places, a lot of different more experimental wineries, and then a lot of wineries in general are just playing around with carbonic maceration. So Jolie-Laide is one of the wineries that is more on the experimental side. They're very fruit forward, fruit driven, like to take the natural expressions of the fruit and make sure they're capturing that in their bottles of wine. So this wine here is no different. It just smells like bright berries. Before I even am able to taste it, I'm just getting like bright cherry, blueberry. It's very what I would call crushable. Probably would be fantastic popped in the fridge for like 20 minutes before you drink it. Oh yeah, this is just like bright berries. Red plum, blueberry, raspberry, cranberry. Just very juicy, very easy to drink. If you are one of the people who is really on board with the light, fruity, bright, zippy red wines, then this is your wine right here. If you're not on board with that trend, then I'm sorry, because there's a lot of bright, fruity, zippy red wines out there right now. That definitely seems to be where palates are heading, which is so interesting to me because wine I feel like goes through phases. Like there was a really big buttery Chardonnay phase, and then like Sauvignon Blanc was in, and for a while they're like big Napa Cabs were basically the pinnacle of what people considered to be good wine, and that's what a lot of the wine scoring systems are based on. But now I feel like these light crushable red wines are in, they're popular, they're a little bit easier and less expensive for producers to make, which makes more affordable wines for people to buy. So in an era where the wine industry is maybe struggling a little bit more, creating more accessible wines that are meant to be drank now. So this is not a wine you want to age. It will not age well. You can probably keep it for a couple of years, but it's really designed to be something that you buy and you can take home today and drink versus something like a big Napa Cab or a Bordeaux or something that you actually, it's better if you lay it down and let it sit for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I think in an era where people are drinking less wine and wine feels less approachable, having more of these light, chillable, accessible wines is the right direction for producers to go. But let me know your thoughts on this. I think this one's super fun. I love that it has a bit of that like spooky vibe to it, since I love spooky season. But do let me know your thoughts on light chillable reds. Are you on board with the trend, or do you wish we'd go back to having bigger, bolder reds be more popular? And let me know your favorite wine. Cheers!